I'm with a couple of gentlemen here who are doing the buckle, and they were going to demonstrate some safety devices for automobiles which will help us to drive safer and to be educated to live longer. So suppose you introduce yourselves, gentlemen.
My name is Richard Thorpe, and I'm a site manager and a seatbelt advocate for Chrysler's Do the Buckle Safety Tour.
And I'm Jim Badamo. I'm also a site manager and seatbelt advocate for the Chrysler Do the Buckle Safety Tour.
Okay, thank you. Now, suppose you tell us what you've got here.
Well, briefly in a nutshell, I'll give you an overview of the program. There are 10 vans. We go around the country. We have a different region. We talk about the importance of buckling up, the importance of always having children in the back seat, and that safety is a shared responsibility, that a seatbelt cannot work unless you put it on. And what we've got here on the table is we have an inflated demo of a seatbelt, an airbag. We have a cutaway of a steering wheel which shows you what the airbag looks like folded up, and we have the seatbelt with the gearing that most people don't see. Now, what we'll do is I'll pass it over to Jim. He'll start out by talking about the inflated airbag.
Okay. What I have here is an actual inflated airbag, and as it comes out of the steering wheel, now normally the airbag isn't going to stay inflated. This is just for demonstration purposes. Generally the airbag will have either the material itself will be very porous, or there'll be little vent holes poked in. And what will happen is when somebody hits into the airbag, the air is going to come out of the back, and it's going to help soften the blow. Now Richard has a demonstration that can show that'll kind of show you how this happens.
Okay.
All right.
What we do is we have regular paper bag, which I have put some holes on the side here, one here and one here. These are going to illustrate the vent holes that Jim talked about on the airbag. And I'll just fill it up again like that, fold up the ends. This is provided by Autoleave, one of Chrysler's 3 partners for safe driving. As you can see, the other 3 here. We've got the bag here, and I'll take an egg, regular egg. You can hear that that's just a regular egg.
It's raw egg.
It's raw egg. Drop it on the ground, it'll splatter all over the place. However, if I drop it on the bag, we'll see what happens. This is just a regular paper bag. Now,
Cracked.
it cracked. It wasn't supposed to do that, but
not much.
Well, the air came out of the vent here. The bag protected the egg. I think this is because it's a jumbo egg. It weighs a lot, but I probably didn't put enough air in it. But anyway, as soon as the egg touched the bag, it collapsed. The air came out of the vents, and as you can see here, the egg is basically unharmed. And that's how a airbag will protect you. The gas which fills up this bag is nitrogen, and that's what will protect you in case of an accident. And now we pass it over to the cutaway of the steering wheel here.
So even though the egg cracked a little, in real life, that might have been enough to have made the difference between serious injury and survival.
Exactly. Again, you know, if we dropped the egg straight onto the table, it would have completely cracked, and we could have started cooking, you know, an omelet or something like that.
Right.
Now, what I have here is a cutaway of an actual steering wheel. And there's a couple things I want to show you. The first thing, this is the kind of white-green folded-up material.
Yeah.
This is the actual airbag as it's folded up into the car. And then eventually it's got this little stuff is going to inflate back into this big thing here. And the other thing I want to show is you have these chemical pellets here, and along the side you have a little containers for little flammable gas. And what happens is when there's an accident, there's a module in the car that sends a signal to a little gold rod in the airbag, and that heats up. And when these chemicals heat up, you have the chemical reaction. That produces the nitrogen, which will then come out from the airbag and expands. And again, Richard has another experiment showing how chemical reactions can produce a gas and expand the type of object or a balloon. Richard?
Okay, now you can hold it up again.
Okay.
Now there's pellets here, there's sodium azide pellets. They produce the nitrogen upon being ignited. And that's in one chamber here, and another chamber that's the flammable liquid. Now what I've got here, ordinary vinegar in the bottle, baking soda in the balloon. They are separate, they're not reacting, just like those 2 chemicals are separate, not reacting. However, when I mix the 2 together, form a chemical reaction, they mix together, it produces carbon dioxide, which blows the balloon up. This is an example of the type of reaction that occurs inside the steering wheel here. One thing that you need to remember is that the airbag is traveling between 100 and 200 miles an hour, average speed 120 miles an hour. So there's a couple things you want to make sure of. One, you want to make sure you're 10 to 12 inches behind the steering wheel. to allow the airbag to come out and allow you a cushion between where the airbag comes out and your body, so you fall into the airbag once it's gone off. You also want to be the same distance away from the dashboard.
All right, the final thing I want to talk about, again, is the most important thing, and that is your seatbelt. And this, of course, is the Do the Buckle safety tour, so we encourage everyone to do the buckle and put on their seatbelt every time they get in the car. It takes about 3 seconds to put on a seatbelt, so it's the easiest, safest self-help improvement project you can undertake. And again, it's important to make sure the seatbelt is locked in properly, and then that when you get in, you adjust the seatbelt properly so it comes across your shoulder and your lap. Now, the way the seatbelt is going to work is, if you pull up on it slowly, like I'm doing here, this will allow you to get in and adjust it. However, if you give it a quick hit, like that, it locks.
Yeah.
And once it's locked in, as you can see, it's not going anywhere. It's just going to stay there, and it's going to keep you in. And again, as Richard was talking about earlier, the seatbelt has to be used in conjunction with the airbag. The airbag alone is not enough to protect you. If you use the airbag properly and the seatbelt properly, it'll reduce your risk of serious injury by 75%. There are a couple very simple rules to follow when you get in the car. First of all, safety is a shared responsibility. None of the safety equipment you're going to find in a car is going to work properly unless you take those couple of seconds and do the buckle and put on that seatbelt. Again, as Richard mentioned, any children under the age of 12 should be put in the back seat with their seatbelt on, because the back is where it's at. It's the safest place to sit in the car. And any adults who are up front, again, you have to make sure you have your seatbelt on, and again, you're at least 10 inches from the dashboard or the steering wheel to give the airbag time to inflate. And if you follow those simple rules and procedures, the airbag with the seatbelt will reduce your risk of injury by about 75%.
All right, well, thank you very much. That's very informative, and hopefully this can help save lives.
That's what we're hoping too, so thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, welcome back. My next guest has been with us before. And if you were at First Night Red Bank last New Year's Eve, or will be there this New Year's Eve, you'll see him perform. He has a tape out now entitled Low Tech Man. And if you'd be interested in more information about this or how to get it, please see the website that will be appearing on your screen. And now, singing some of the songs from Low Tech Man is Mr. Frank Glass himself. Welcome.
Thank you. This is a song about America's favorite pastime. No, it's not baseball. Fire up your modem and your CPU. Sure ain't nothing better to do. Make sure all your defaults are set, cause it's time to go surfing the net. Surfing the net, surfing the net. Throw away your TV set. No time to work, no time to play. Just spending your time online all day. Ooh, surfing the net. Ooh, surfing the net. Ooh, surfing the net. Ooh, surfing the net. My single friend Gus, looking for a date, arrived in the chat room a little bit late. I thought he was talking to a rich young Deb. He got tangled by a widow in the World Wide Web. Surfing the net, surfing the net. Throw away your TV set. No time to work, no time to play. Just spending your time online all day. Ooh, surfing the net. Ooh, surfing the net. Ooh, surfing the net. Ooh, surfing the net. There's plenty of sites to check out and see. Unlimited access for a small monthly fee. And if it's a sense of direction you lack, when you get blown off of the homepage, you might never get back. Surfing the net, surfing the net. Throw away your TV set. No time to work, no time to play. Just spending your time online all day. What do they look like in reality? I don't care, get a look at me. It makes me glad that they can't see when they log on to Prodigy. Well, whether you're a genius or just a boob, you're spending all day staring at a tube. They say TV could hypnotize. We're turning couch potatoes into cyber fries. Surfing the net,
Ben and Randy. Thank you very much, guys. Well, that's our show, and I want to thank Judy and Mindy Coates, the guys, and Frank Glaz. And I want to thank you. So from the Somerset County 4-H Fair, good night and God bless you.